Hello, wonderful, gorgeous angel lovers and people listening to this Inner Peace Talk. Today I have the most amazing guest. It's Sheri Myers, and we met about 2-3 years ago. We both love angels and love to connect to the angelic realm. And I was a guest on one of her fantastic podcasts. And from there, we did also, yes, she has started, is it last year? Yeah, last year, I think in May, June, on Alexa angel prayers. They're 30 seconds long, less than a minute, and you can just listen to them and find inner peace and calm, healing, inspiration. It's a wonderful, wonderful creation of hers. And from there, we have connected with more angel lovers, and I've been invited to summits. And it's just been amazing. And actually, you might see it on her screen. She is launching a new book tomorrow. And of course, she's also a film producer. I mean, there's just, I can't share it all, but welcome, Sheri Myers. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. We fell in love. Let's face it, you and I met and we fell in love. And here I am in New Orleans, and there you are in Switzerland. And we have made now this wonderful network of people who communicate with angels and who have tools and who are producing books and have groups and just are lifting each other up. And I'm really honored to be here. Thank you, darling.
Thank you, Sheri, for being here.
Thank you,
Is there
everybody.
anything I missed in your introduction? Is there anything you love to add? I love New Orleans. I mean, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous spot.
It's a gorgeous town. Yes, I am a film producer, and I wrote a film called Angel Lady, and that's the film that we will be filming, the story we will be filming when we can after everything settles down. And of course, with filming, people are next to each other all the time, so we have to be extremely careful with that next step. In the meantime, yes, this book, It's Too Late to Quit, is coming out tomorrow, and we can talk about that later. In the meantime, I just want to say, for those of us who love angels, I discovered angels about 4 years ago, and it wasn't until I actually started a podcast called How to Connect with Angels. I had literally no connection with angels, even though I wrote a film that has at its centerpiece a glitch on a TV, and people don't know, is that an angel or not, right? But now I started talking to people who connected with angels, Lorna Byrne, Caroline Palmy, all of these amazing people, Melanie Beckler, and I realized this is true. This is real. This is something I have been fortunate enough to open a door in my own heart and in my own life, and to help me to heal. And I really believe that angels help us to love those pieces of ourselves that feel completely unlovable. And I believe that's why Caroline and I value Caroline. I value what you bring so much, because you exude unconditional love. It just floats out of you, and I want to be around that, and I want to be around what you have found, and you have found it. We might have been born with it, and then it went away for a long time. So you bring us back to that place, and I hope the book brings people back to the place. I hope the podcast brings tools so people can find a way back to there, or discover this place. But this, I believe, is no longer just about a movie. It's not about an angel in a movie. It's a movement.
It is, and I love how people find their way of
Yeah.
reconnecting with themselves, you know, and many people love the connection to the angels. I love the support they bring, you know, in times when you feel lonely or unsupported or unloved, or when you go through a hard time. They're bringing their strength, their compassion, their love and support with it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you also connecting to the angels when you love to bring more peace, inner peace, maybe in a stressful or worrisome situation? Do you have tools you love to share with us?
You know, I do have a simple request that I make. And this has helped me again and again and again and again, is I out loud, I say, angels, and I say, angels, I'm really scared. Angels, I can't figure this out. Angels, help me to calm down. Angels, and again in situations that have seemed so impossible and so stressful over these last several months. My mother's been in hospice, my husband's been in the hospital, I had to fly back, things that are so it's scary and potentially awful crisis. And I feel that if I truly ask, and we're not ask and figure it out, but ask and allow, right? Give it a moment of space so you can hear or feel or listen. I mean, however it's going to come through, it is going to come through. Right, Caroline?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. So many angel people, or so many people, first of all, they don't know what angels to call on. And
Yeah.
it's simple. Just call on the angels. You don't need to know their name or who's responsible for that area.
No.
Just say, angels, please help me. And that's wonderful, and you feel that instant support. And as you say, either you might hear it in your inner ear, or you might see something in your inner eye, you might sense it in your body, or you might just know, and just allow it to come a certain way. Many of us, or many people, they always think they have to see the angels, and they focus on seeing and don't realize they hear or sense it. So this is important, as you say, that it's really let it come to you and create that space. And that's such a wonderful little tool to just ask for help. Yes.
Well, it's, Caroline, it's the law of the universe. You have to ask. So part of that asking is allowing yourself. Now, this was my problem for most of my life, is that I thought I could do it on my own. And I didn't want a crutch. I swear, I was a Buddhist. I brought up Methodist, brought up in the church. But later when I got into my 30s, I started to chant. And I prayed and I chanted every day. But even when I was chanting, I resisted the surrender. But that is the key, I believe, to having a different kind of life, is when you surrender your ego and your monkey mind, and you go and back to the heart. You feel it, right? You feel it in your heart.
Absolutely. And this is so important, because what always helped me is, in every situation, if something didn't happen I truly wished for, I said, so maybe it wasn't meant to be. Or maybe there's something bigger out there, you know. And when we ask for help and we feel it has to come in a certain form,
Yeah.
like this person has to be healed because I can't live without that person or something. But maybe it was not meant to be. Maybe that person's time was up to pass into the light, and we had to learn to live through that pain. We never know. We never know the great orchestrating universe and the angels. And so trusting that everything is well, everything is meant to be as it is, but always asking for help, allowing to receive. That was a big one for me, you know, receiving help, or we think that the big angel has to help, and all of a sudden someone comes along and helps us and says, oh, no, but I asked the angels, you can't help. But who knows, maybe the angel sent that person.
Of course. I mean, and part of what I'm interested in with is when we work with the angels in our I don't even know what to say, in our, I guess, in our belief system, work with the angels in our belief system. And you don't have to take my belief system, but just open up to the idea that angels, as messengers of God, are there present every moment in any way as all beings throughout time. And I mean, as we are, you know, we're wearing our human skin, like, you know, we're souls. We're in our little earth bodies here. I'm Sheri Myers in my little earth body, but I'm here on my mission. And you're here on your mission. And somehow, if I can allow that I am part angel as well, then when I hear the call to help you, I go. I do that. I give. So we are angels to each other. And that is where I believe the next moment, the next big, now we're in this pause, and what we're creating potentially is peace here in our hearts, peace in our families, peace in our block, down the lane. You might know your neighbors better than you knew them a month ago. You might know your own backyard better, and you might love your life a little more or see where you want to change it. But folks, we are truly in this together. And if we are in this together, we are angels to each other. We are earth angels to each other. We are responsible for ourselves. And now let's look outside of our backyard and say, what's going on down the street? How can I help my community? Because I really feel that we're in for challenges and opportunities. That's the great thing. This amazing group of people who are like passionately interested in peace.
I love that. Angels to each other. I love that. This is great, Sheri. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That is really beautiful, and something we forget. I mean, sometimes we live our lives and forget about the others, and now we are more open, hopefully more compassionate with ourselves and others, and open for new opportunities. While, of course, letting go of old beliefs and systems, and that's good. We're all in this together.
I am so sorry. I have to turn off my phone. Oh, goodness. Oh.
It's real life here. We're live. And
Jeez Louise. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I so apologize. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. So tomorrow
I'm sorry.
Tomorrow is Mother's Day. And
yes.
Your mom is in an assisted home. Would you love to share more?
Oh, I would, Caroline. Thank you. And by the way, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
You are a good mommy. I know you are. I see you with your beautiful smiling kids. Well, that's such a testimony. I mean, isn't it wonderful to have such such wonderful children?
Yeah, it is.
We're really fortunate. My daughter is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's a cartoonist. Her name is Sophie, and she's my heart. And if I will, I'll talk to her on my phone. But let me tell you about my mama, my little mummy. Sylvia Myers Willoughby is 92. And last year we had to move her from her home in Florida to assisted living in New Hampshire. And in New Hampshire, so it's New England. She is a New Englander. She grew up in Bennington. She's, in this country, New Englanders are very staunch. They're reserved, they're staunch. They're like English. They're actually New Englanders. And my mom her name is Sylvia, and she painted when she was young, like 10 or 12. And then she didn't pick up the paintbrush until she was retired. She did a little when she went back to school, got her college degree after having four kids. She went back, got her college degree, summa cum laude, and then she taught, she did real estate. My dad died when he was 50, and she was 48, and she had 4 kids, all in college. We've all been very close around her ever since. She remarried, she traveled, she started to paint. We would get these beautiful paintings. I would see them when I went up to see her every summer. We go up to the lake, and she'd pull them out from under the bed. And she'd go, look what I painted. I go, oh, that's beautiful. She said, do you want one? I would go, well, of course. So we all got her paintings. Everyone in the family had a painting. But here's the thing. When I moved her from Florida to her assisted living, she had 50 paintings that came out of her closet, her walk-in closet. 50 beautiful watercolors. Mom, what have you been doing? She says, well, So my mother, one of the things that anyhow, my mother is my mother. So she's very reticent to talk about herself. And we did not know she had this painting talent, really. We didn't know she had all this work, but this is what she did. And this is in my book because I think this is important. She told my husband when we were moving her that she had a bucket list. She's 92. She had a bucket list, and on her bucket list was to have a show of her work. So we did a show of her. I'm a producer. So when somebody says, hey, let's do this, blank, 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 it's like, oh, right. So I get on my producer's hat and I go, well, we got to do this and this. So we had this show of her work. My sister worked with me and helped to orchestrate it. We had it in the lobby and on the walls of her assisted living facility. In December, last December, the local paper came. 60 of her works of art were up. We had cards. We made a book. I put together a book of her work. And she has now, my mother has a website. People are ordering cards and prints. She does commissions. People walk in her room and they say, could you do like The Man in the Mountain? I mean, my mother is all systems go. Now, she's also on hospice. She has pulmonary fibrosis, so her lungs are scarring, and so she has to get more and more oxygen. She's on oxygen 24/7. However, she is on fire because she has now connected, her art has connected with appreciation in people because she has allowed herself to share it. So I did this interview. I'm a podcaster, which is how we met. So I did an interview with my mother about it's too late to quit, because now she's got a chapter in my book, this book. And I wanted people to see how, if you hold that flame of your dream and you never let it go out, and you just hold it. Sometimes you can't do what it is that you dream of doing, but don't let it go out. My mother painted for, well, she's 92. She painted for 40 years, 42 years. Gave it away, but she painted because she loves it. She painted because it brought her peace. And so it's a really, I think, a fascinating study with how, if you hold on to that flame, keep putting things on your bucket list, share your bucket list. If she hadn't shared her bucket list, we would never have done this show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's too late to quit. My book came out, I was inspired, of course, with what happened with my mom and this amazing, lease on life. I mean, she said, and she does say this, is like, she knew she had 4 beautiful kids and a beautiful family that came from these 4, but she didn't have her legacy. So it's a glorious thing. And it's an amazing thing. And it's been very inspiring for people as I continue to share it on my social media. So it's too late to quit. Well, I've been fortunately doing this podcast and learning about the angels and meditating. So if I have a meditation that I'm doing, I like to listen to Melanie Beckler. I belong to her club. And I am one of those people who needs to switch off this so I can do the deep work with the writing and with the podcasting. And so I listened to her meditations, and then I would have a little book next to my computer, and I would just write something. And most of the time it was encouragement from the angels, because, producing a movie, it's a long slog if it's an independent film. And we've had lots of twists and turns, and there's lots of days where nothing promising seems to be happening. But always with the podcast, there was my through line, which was be with the angels, be with your angelic life force. And the more I got to know amazing people like Caroline Palmy, I started to really sense the incredible amount of healing and empowerment and potential that was there when people connected with their angelic stream. So it's groups like this, and the book is a little book of just dive in, grab a page. You can read it from soup to nuts, and it has its own unfolding that is an amazing experience, people say. And then after you read it, you just put it by your bedside and you just dip into it. Or if you're feeling blue, or you're feeling sad, or you're feeling discouraged, just open the book up and ask, let it speak to you in terms of something that maybe, you can reach down and, oh, yeah, I can't forget about that. Because my dad was a coach, I should add. My father was actually a soccer coach as well as professor. And my brothers have been coaches, and I have been kind of one of those professional enthusiasts all my life. But now I feel like I'm fortunate because it's not me. It comes through me, and I'm being, I have some funny things to add to it, but it's truly the angels speaking to me to help me, asking me now to share these words. So I share my mom's story. I share my angel's words. I share words from my running coach. I share things from my therapist, who is this black belt guy who invented days of the week panties. I swear to God, he did. And he runs panty factories all over the world between seeing clients, therapy clients. And he was amazing. Marty told me things that stuck in me, and I told other people, and I know they work because people, I say it to somebody and they go, oh. So that's what I wanted this book to be, is like, oh, yeah, oh. So
It's like
that's all.
inspiration.
And you can get the book. The book is tomorrow is the launch, and I'm going to share this interview with my mom. I don't know how it's going to go. I know it's going to be adorable because she is. And my nephew is editing. He's my editor, so he's editing. And now tomorrow you can get the ebook and you can read it right away. Or you get the book, you get the paperback, and you'll get it in about a week or so. I don't know how they're working this out with China. But so tomorrow's the big day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the book is called It's Too Late to Quit.
Yes, it's too late. This is late.
Exactly. On this side. Mm-hmm. And it's really gorgeous. I was able to have a little preview into it and just reading through it. And I can imagine when you have the real book and you just open it up to one page, oh yeah, this is what I needed to hear now. And it's uplifting, it's inspiring, and it's deeply loving and connecting. It's earth angel to earth angel, soul to soul, heart to heart.
Wow.
So I am going to share the link to the Amazon so you can get the ebook pre-order or the printed version, whatever you prefer. And I also share the amazing podcasts and the link to the Alexa prayers and anything else that Sheri does. So thank you so much for being here, Sheri. Is there something you love to add up or round it all up now at this time?
Oh my goodness. Is there something? Yes, let's just talk about what's going on now. Because prior to us hopping on and doing this, you were saying 20 years from now, what are people writing about us? Us. Not just the time, but about you and about me. What's in the history books? Wow. What's our legacy? What is my personal legacy? What is your personal legacy? So when we look at this point in time, which is really a moment of tremendous transformation, and I'm sure, Caroline, you're talking about it all the time, and we're all in this in the world of incredible, on the brink of, I feel that we need to again go back to what is inside here, what is in my home, what is in my backyard, what is down the street, what is in my community. How can I serve? How can I be a light to others? And that means action. Does not mean I feel better today. Wow. Yes, that is part of it. Yes, you feel better. But let's not forget, we transform when we are earth angels to each other. We get outside of and there's a page in my book about that. It's just, if you can commit to being part of the change, then what we're going to need to change is perhaps being a little outside of our comfort zone. Yeah, you feel better. Feel better outside, feel better helping, feel better reaching out. Just stretch yourself, because we can we have to kind of hunker down and kind of like, whoa, what's going on? And I'm feeling this and this and this and this. But let's look, as you and I talk about, we're all in this together. We're feeling the same things. If we're feeling the same things, let's share what we're feeling, but let's all help each other now. Get past that feeling of distance and aloneness and alienation. I'm with you. I'm with you. You're with me. And now that final piece of it for me, it's too late. This one, it's too late to quit. We are donating 10% of our net profit to feeding people, because in my country, in my city of New Orleans, people are going to be going hungry. As earth angels, can we take on food, possibly, as something that we can identify as a point of action for ourselves? Eat better for ourselves, for our families, for down the street. Do you need food? How are you doing? But also for our communities, and I'm supporting community gardens. All that to get to that, which is, that's my point of action, is community gardens, raising money so people can grow their own food. So,
which is so needed and
oh
so
yeah,
wonderful. And I mean, here in Europe, we have all the social welfare system, which in
yes.
America you don't have. So
No,
it's
no.
so important that we reach out to people in need and support each other and create something together. Yes, we are individuals, but we can create so much beauty together, and community gardens are just amazing and so much better. It's like that saying, give a hungry man a fish, he has to eat something for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he can feed his family a lifetime. And I think those community gardens and people, this is so good, because we see, oh, we have the seed, it becomes a seedling, it grows, we can pick the vegetables, the fruits, and
Yes.
we are again in tune with Mother Earth. And this is our cycle, it's that cycle of seasons, of growing, of harvesting, of giving thanks to Mother Earth and creating it together. Yeah, maybe we have strong men, they can really dig the soil, and then we can plant, and even children can plant little things and see it grow. And this is important. I think it's all about coming back to the simple things and
Yes.
learning through that experience. So this is amazing, and please support community gardens. Get It's Too Late to Quit
Thank
book.
you.
And thank you so much, Sheri. Thanks for being here. And if you have
Oh, Caroline, I'm so blessed to know you. We are all blessed to be in your, to have a Caroline Palmy.
and
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so much, Sheri. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We come back to you and answer your questions. And so lovely to be here and come back to our inner peace. Don't forget to ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help from the angels. Just say, thank you, angels, please help me. Take a deep breath and surrender and allow it to come in whatever form it comes. Thank you, Sheri. Have a good day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank